Welcome to Tuesday's Tools on Purpose at the Business on Purpose podcast. Tuesdays are all about equipping you all with the tools that you need to run your business with intention and purpose. Our mission here at Business on Purpose is to liberate business owners from chaos so you can make time for what matters most. My name's Patrice Miles. I'm one of the coaches on the team, and every Tuesday I love to dive into the world of tools because in a world where your time is your most precious asset, finding the right tools can streamline your operations. So, in each episode, I love to bring you interviews with experts. We share success stories, we provide step by step guides to empower you. But remember, as I always say, it's not about having the right tools. You actually have to use them. So, today's topic is one I have been wanting to discuss for a while, and it is buy sell agreements. I'm super excited to introduce you to Sam Wheeler, who has been with us before. He is a State Farm agent in Kentucky. Sam, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Patrice. Thank you for having me. It's good to be here. And like you said, I'm a State Farm agent. I've been in agency for 13 years now. And I love the topic we're going to talk about today. I really believe it's really relevant and it's great timing as well.
Yeah, that's great. So tell us, what are buy-sell agreements?
So a buy-sell agreement, let me frame it this way first. I'm going to ask a few questions. I know you're interviewing me, but let me ask a few questions here. One, if you have a business, your spouse is in a business, they own a business, and they've got partners in that business. They've got other people who they're in business with together, and one partner passes away.
Mm.
What happens, one, to that business? How do they continue without that partner? What kind of financial impact is going to happen to that business because that partner is no longer there? That's one question. Another question, what happens to that partner's family? So that partner's family has a claim, so to speak, on that person's portion of the business. So how do you pay them out? Does that surviving spouse, for example, now have to come into the law practice or the medical practice or the contractor's business or what have you? Do they now have to come in and work in the business to get that same income back out? And do they want to do that? And then thirdly, how does that impact the surviving partners' families? What's going to happen to them financially with that partner being gone? Was that partner the credit for the business, so to speak? Was that partner bringing in a third or a half of the revenue for that business every year? Those are some questions that help frame what is a buy-sell agreement. So when you really boil it down, a buy-sell agreement is kind of like a will for a business. So as families, we have wills in place so that our stuff passes to our heirs, our loved ones, the most inexpensive and the most stress-free way possible. Those things pass to our loved ones. The business has a buy-sell agreement that kind of fills that same purpose where it helps, the assets of that business. It helps them to be able to continue to operate now that that partner's gone. And also that partner's family gets their share paid out.
Yeah, I love that. I've never heard anyone say it that it's a will for your business. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Yeah.
know I work with lots of businesses that have
Mm-hmm.
several partners, normally family. And
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately, have seen things get, nasty when something like that
Yeah.
happens. And so having this would be
Mm-hmm.
huge. So tell me, if I'm a business owner, I have partners,
Mm-hmm.
how do I go about, getting a buy-sell agreement? What do I need to do?
Yeah, that's a great question. And one thing that I would start with is just to sit down with the partners and just kind of map out what do we want to happen? If one of us is no longer here, what do we want to see happen next? You know, you've got to determine things like what's the value of our business, and if we split that up, who gets what? As what percentage of that value goes to who? How does that work? Or are we planning to pay out, 5 years or 10 years worth of income that you would have gotten? We'll pay that out to your family, and that will satisfy buying them out of the business so that, and then we continue. So it starts with a partner sitting down together and kind of figuring out this is what we want to happen if something happens to one of us. Then you get with a legal professional and just sit down and have them put it in writing, put it on paper for you so that everybody can sign off on it. Everybody agrees and it's done. And then thirdly, if there's funds that's needed to make what you want to happen, if a partner is no longer there, if you need a life insurance policy to fund that buy-sell agreement, then you can get with your insurance professional, someone like myself, and they can put the policy in place for you to protect everyone in that business financially.
I love that. I love that. And I've
Mhm.
had owners before say, "Hey, Patrice, I mean, I've got an operating agreement and it spells out, what percentages we all own. What do I need this buy sell agreement for?" Have you had that question before?
Yeah, one of the things that can happen is you may have an operating agreement in place, but there's no plan, and you really need a plan for if someone passes away. The other thing is that what funds do we want to use? So we have that operating agreement, but and the business has these assets, has money or what have you. So do we want to take I'm just picking numbers here, $5 million of cash we have laying around, and that 5 million goes to the partner's family. Now we got to start over and rebuild again. So how do we want to fund that? So having the specifics of that, business continuation plan in place is really important. You've got your operating plan that takes care of today and tomorrow, but then you have your continuation plan that takes care of if something goes wrong, and someone's not here anymore, then what?
Yeah, yeah. And then it
Mhm.
sounds like the third is then you have that insurance to help fund that.
Mhm.
And is that insurance the key man or key person insurance that we recorded previously together?
That's a little different. Key person is, yeah, that's just a key person passed away. It's not a partner necessarily.
Okay.
It could be operational manager. It could be if you're in a contractor type business, for example, your lead foreman or your lead person in the business, and that person generates the majority of the revenue or is responsible for the majority of the revenue that comes in. That would be more of a key person. The
Okay.
buy sell protects the business itself so that it can continue. There's a plan. There's a spelled out, this is what's going to happen next kind of a plan for the business itself and how, we're going to take care of the family of the partner who has claim on that partner's portion of the business as well. And so, yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Well, I mean,
Mhm.
all of this is just some great information and definitely food for thought, especially for
Mhm.
business owners that have partners. Is
Mhm.
there anything else that you feel like our listeners should know in regards to buy-sell agreements before we go, or did we touch on everything?
I think, the way you kicked us off, Patrice, is really, really great. I know that you liberate business owners, you said at the beginning, from the chaos that could happen. And man, there is no more place in the life of a business where chaos can happen than if a partner passes away. So the last thing I would leave your viewers with is that it's not hard, it's not complicated. If you sit down over a coffee or a lunch and map it out, it may or may not happen over one conversation. It might be two or three or four conversations where you sit down and kind of map out a plan of what you want, and then get with a legal professional to write that out for you, and then get with your insurance professional to fund it to help figure out what's the best way for us to fund it. And so it's really not hard. The timing is good, I would say, is because it's that time of year where people like on jobs will look at benefits. Open enrollment is coming up here pretty soon. And so it's just good timing to do that as we get to the end of the year, put something in place that maybe can be kicked off in January or what have you. And now you can sleep easier knowing that it's all done.
Yeah, yeah, that's fantastic. And then I know,
Mhm.
seeing if they are in Kentucky or Indiana, that is something you can help
Mhm.
walk through with them. What's the best
Mhm.
way for them to reach you?
Sure. My contact office number is 502-459-9700. Easy number, even for me to remember. I'm getting old and my memory is not what it used to be. And then my cell number, I'll offer that as well, as 502-753-9833. And some people may just have questions. It's like, what do I want to look for with my insurance professional? What do I want to talk about? What questions should I have? And even your legal professional, what questions should I ask? So feel free, I'm available. Even if it's not in Kentucky or Indiana, if someone has a question, I'm happy to answer.
Yeah, and Sam, that's why we have you on the podcast because you're so generous with that. So thank you. And
Mhm.
Kevin, for those of you watching on YouTube, we'll make sure and put that phone number in the show notes for those of you, or you can just press rewind and hear that number again. But otherwise,
Yeah.
Sam, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, Patrice. Always good to see you. Thank you.
Great. Well, that is a wrap, guys, for Tuesday's Tools on Purpose. Enjoy your new tool, buy-sell agreements. But remember, every small action can lead to big results. So what action are you going to take today in regards to buy-sell agreements? For those of you all that are just tired of living in chaos and you're ready to start actually working on your business instead of in it, I would love to show you how you can finally start seeing some return on investments in the areas of your time, your money, and a business that can just truly run without you. So if that's something that you've wanted, but you just don't know the path to get there, give me a call or schedule a discovery call with me. You can simply email me at patrice@mybusinessonpurpose.com. Again, Kevin will put that in the show notes and up on the screen, along with a QR code for those of you watching on YouTube. Last but not least, we have our Healthy Business Owner Assessment. If you are brave enough to take it, a 0 is a horrible score and a 40 is perfect. So if you're brave enough, take that test by scanning that QR code that, again, Kevin's going to put up. Otherwise, guys, I will see you next Tuesday. Thanks so much.